Chicka wow wow. Chicka wow wow. Oh, we gotta bubble up. Bubble up, bubble up.
Bubble up.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Amanda.
Hello.
Welcome in. Oh, it's at our time. It's 10:10 on the dot.
10:10.
Yeah.
10:10. Good morning.
Makes
good
me think
morning.
of those old commercials when you call collect. It was like 10:10 2:20 or something. Do you remember that?
No, but every time you say that, I always hear the same thing. And I don't know if you guys have had this, but you used to get like phone calls, and it would be like, "It's 4:00. Do you know where your children are?"
Was that a phone call or was it on a commercial?
Well, it used to be on a commercial, but we would get phone calls too.
What?
Like,
I
yeah,
didn't get those.
they're in the basement on their games.
They're
So
probably
sad.
doing drugs.
No, we kick ours out.
Yeah.
How's everyone doing this morning?
Welcome in. Welcome in. Hey, Cass. TV commercials. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are, right?
10 p.m.
Yeah. That's the one
For
that I
you,
heard. Yeah.
we always had 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Yeah, it's 4 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Really? Mm-hmm. To make sure people were like getting their kids home from school.
I guess. Must have been really bad. Those must have been some bad times. I wouldn't have known any different. I just remember picking it up and like, this is so weird. There was also, you used to also be able to call a number. God, I feel so old. I swear I'm not that old. I'm not that old. How old am I?
I don't know. 37 maybe?
37? Am I
Yeah.
30? No, I think, am I 38?
No.
I can never remember how old I am.
We don't remember these things.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys, if you're
Sitting
in
in
your
your
30s, you feel like that too.
Wilding in the 80s. Yeah. Well, I used to be able to call a number to get the time, the date, and the weather. Did anybody else have that?
The weather station.
Yeah.
We
thought that was the coolest thing when we were kids, was like to dial that number and get like
Yeah.
the time, the date, and the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mr.
like to
Whippy
call
ice
just
cream
for the
has-
time just because I could. Mr. Whippy ice cream.
There's 50,000 licks already.
What?
Oh, God.
90s shit. I don't know. Old AF. Yeah, right? Oh, my God. We used to call 1-800-WET-BUTT. It was like you could dial that in, and it was some kind of like porn thing, but it was like, but it would say, it was like, I don't know what wet butt is, but it was like, touch it, rub it, feel it. You've reached 1-800-WET-BUTT. And we would call it before soccer games on the payphone, and we'd all be gathered around listening to it, and we'd be cracking up. Good morning, Rach. Good morning, Nancy.
We're talking about numbers that you could call, informational numbers you could call back in the day. Yeah, those were some good times. I used to like the one where I'd get home from school and I'd run to the phone and I would dial in 1-800-RED-TOES.
What's that one? Oh my God.
I would dial, I think it was like star 67 or star 69 to see like who called.
Oh, star 69, yeah.
Yeah, so who was the last person to call. And I would do that all the time to see if like my friends called or if I missed any calls until I got in so much trouble.
You had to pay for it,
presuming
right?
when the phone bill came in, they were like, who's doing this? And I was like, oh. So, but yeah, good old days. That was
Before
before,
call waiting.
I was just going to say that was before
Yeah.
caller ID.
That's weird.
Yup. Good times.
I have to blow my nose. Guys, I'm still clearing my energy through my face holes. But I have come over a really big hump. My voice is getting a little better. I'm not going to be super loud today, though. I'm going to let girlfriend take the reins on this one. But yeah, I'll do the best I can.
I can be loud enough for both of us.
You're really good at that.
Yeah.
And we'll just get you on one of your tandons about like, I need somebody to
I know,
come in and not pretend, but just voice your unworthiness of how you feel unworthy, and she'll go at it.
Don't send me into a channel. No, I'm just playing. What was I gonna say? There was something I was going to bring up today, and it's totally eluding me.
Oh no. if you guys were on yesterday and we were talking about the sound we heard the other night, we heard about like this rumbly like sound that was like ultra thunder but very long, and we couldn't figure out what it was. We still haven't figured out what it was, but I've decided, because my sister lives down the street from us, she didn't wake up to it either, and I decided that it was for us, and it was us like jumping through some timelines or something, because from like today, we had a really crazy day yesterday where like everybody in the house was just like pissed off. Everybody.
It got pretty bad.
Yeah, and there was crying. I kept crying. I was like, you were like getting mad at people. It was just not normal, and
not us, not
us
like
together.
Us, it's like our kids
with the kids. Everybody had an issue. Like it was just
everybody had fires they needed put out. Yeah. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone.
Yeah.
You know, everyone had something to say.
It was just like everybody just like purging.
Who is teenagers? Is anyone in here is this a teenager? Like, we're coming into teenager, like full blown teenagers.
We have all the whole range, but we
have like of the ones closest to it. I would say, well, our 11-year-old, he's almost 12, but we have 13, 15, 15, and boy, God, 3 teen. Yes, yeah, right.
Yeah. I posted today. I didn't show you, but if you guys didn't see it, I posted today that
Nancy, is 19 good? Is 19 good? Please tell me 19 is good. Like, I'm hoping, because you know when we got to like 12 with my son, like 10, no, I think it was like 11 and started picking up. 12,
she said no.
12 freaking sucked. Oh man, 13.
17, they start using their brain again. Thank God.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Don't get us wrong. We freaking love our kids, but it's like we're looking at some of the stuff they do. And we're like, dude, what happened to you?
What happened? Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
Like bad. Like really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say though, if you didn't see, I posted I guess I don't know what you would call it, but with words. But I didn't even show you. I didn't have time this morning. The conversation with one of our oldest, and he was like, "You guys," about angel numbers, and how he's like, I would hate to see you two in math class. You'd be excited the whole time. Look at that number. Look at that number.
He was like, you'd be interrupting the teacher. It's 555, isn't it? I'm like,
yeah. He's like, his favorite one is like, it's pick a number, and he's like, we're gonna be rich. That means we're gonna be rich.
He's like, look, Mom, it's 222 on the clock. We're gonna be rich. I'm like, shut up. Lo and behold, yeah, you want to know how that same kid gets up this morning, comes in, and he's like,
Mom, he's all bad by day.
I don't feel so good. My head hurts, my stomach's hurting.
He's like, can I lay on you?
He did. He just like laid on me. You know, he goes 15 to 3, like real that. Okay, when they're not feeling good, boys especially. That is so true, because my daughter, she could be running like 102 fever, and she's just like, don't, just leave me alone, and just go in her room, you know? But I'm like, all right, well, go lay down, you know, like, when was the last time? I'm like checking his energy. I'm like, you're dehydrated, and you need to ground yourself. And then Lindsay's like, he probably needs a crown pool, you know, to get the energy like out of his head.
Opening up the skull.
Yeah.
Like, opening up your energy.
And so, I went in and, I told him, right? I was like, you probably need to do a crown pull. He goes, I already did that. Right? So our stuff ain't that bad. I'm like, all right, you've done the crown pull? And he's like, yeah, it's like the energy. And I'm like, okay, well, if you need to move that energy down, out of your feet, and you need to ground yourself, so you should probably go sit outside, get some water, drink some water, sit outside, start grounding. And he's like, okay. And then 2 minutes later, he calls me on the phone. He goes, I just moved the energy from my head down my chakras, and it got stuck in my stomach, and it won't move. And now my stomach hurts really bad, and I can't get the energy out of my stomach. So I had to go and like open up his toes and like open the energy lines, and I'm like, stomach is associated with fear and worry and guilt and like anxiousness? Do you have any of that going on? Because God forbid they tell you what they have going on, right? It's like, this is worse than like a fishing game. So I'm like, if you have any of that going on, you need to look at it, acknowledge it, and then you can, work, like, acknowledge those emotions, then bubble them up and move those down through your stomach, like move it down into your feet. Okay. And then he calls me back and he's like, can you please come outside? I go out there, I'm like, did you do it? And he was like, yeah, so my stomach doesn't hurt as bad and my head doesn't hurt as bad, but I still don't feel good. I'm like, all right. So I bring him inside. I start doing energy work on him. And he was like, oh, what is this? Like chiropractic care? And I was like, no, it's not chiropractic care. It's called energy healing. And he had the nerve. He goes, you should do this more. You should do this more. You should do this for a living. And I'm like,
hi, Martin.
Okay.
You should do this. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Thanks.
I appreciate that. He still gets blown away when we do energy work on him and his symptoms go away. He's like, how do you do that?
It is pretty funny because he's the first one to like make fun of us. And yeah.
Thank
make
you.
Us look like we're crazy. Thank you so much,
Martin.
Good morning. Thank you for the gift. Thank you for the earth, the whole world.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get on track.
My face just glitched. Did you see that?
No.
That was crazy.
On the thing? Like in real life?
Like it was like, and then it looked all weird.
Oh, no.
Good morning, Lisa. Good morning.
Guys, make sure you're tapping that screen.
Top Billy, good morning.
Good morning, chicks. Oh, I love that. Tomorrow, new podcast episode airs, so make sure you check that out. Okay?
Yes.
4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it'll be out. And it's all about Andrea's God Day story, about her day coming back to God source.
Happy birthday.
Oh, Cass, happy birthday. Everybody wish Cassie a happy birthday. She's Butterby Freak. Yay.
Happy birthday.
And she's one of our subscribers, and she's been here with us for a really long time.
She's an OG tribe member.
She's an OG, and we love her dearly.
Yeah.
So definitely give her a shout, people.
Are you doing anything fun today? At least are you doing anything for yourself today? Let me put it that way.
Oh, happy blessed birthday. I love that. I want to say that to people.
Yeah.
Hi, Beck.
Good morning.
Happy birthday, girly. Oh. Started with a haircut.
Can't go wrong there.
Nice.
Cannot go wrong there. You know how much energy is in your hair?
Yeah, right?
There's cell memory. There's and this is just on an energetic level, right?
It's like whatever was in there as it was growing out, like, is kind of trapped within your hair.
Yeah. You get a lot of energy stuck in
fresh cut
in your hair.
Clear that energy. Good.
Yeah.
And I know you had a lot going on, so that's a good thing. I hope you feel good today. Take care of yourself. We're sending you lots of love and healing. Lots of good vibes for a happy day.
I'm going to tune into Spirit and see if there's anything that they bring through for us to talk about.
Okay. All right. Hi, Becky. Good morning. All right, so she's getting ready. I'm keeping I keep saying this. I'm being quiet. I'm being quiet today.
Has she been quiet?
I haven't been quiet.
No.
When I get on here, I get like all energized, and then I get off and I'm just like dead again.
I know.
But this is all good. Like, I'm healing like so many things. Like, so I'm not just shedding some things that just aren't aligned with who I am anymore, and it's beautiful. So I'm happy to do it. But also, it's been a lot. But my girl's been picking up the slack. She had me all like, got my shower started last night, and she like got my towel ready and laid out my pajamas. It was so cute. And it's a big lesson for me because I usually go over and beyond for her if she's not feeling good. And I'm like, put myself last a lot of times. So it's that reminder that if you're doing that, if you're putting yourself last, like Spirit Universe will put things in place to make sure you are also receiving, and that you know that it's balanced. Chris is on. Andrea, Coke back? What does that mean? Coke. Hi, Chris. Is he talking about your face because you're like?
I'm connecting.
Oh, come back, he said.
I'm seeing if Spirit has anything they want to talk about. You know how this works, Chris?
It probably looks weird, like we're half froze, like you're like frozen and I'm still going.
Chris fucks with me all the time, let me tell you. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, all right, I'm going back to connecting. And all of a sudden, Chris is like, you're right here in my face. Like, I'm like, get back in the screen,
Chris. Oh my goodness, we love you guys. So anyway.
They're like, please, we want to remind all of the changes that are taking place. Yep, we did that already. And then it's like
changes taking place.
Yeah, within the vessel.
Hi,
also
Jess.
within the
What
is that?
What?
Hi.
That's
that
cool.
was so cool.
I wanted to pet it.
I know, right? It was definitely like,
thanks for the gift.
There in real time.
Yeah. Guys, make sure you're tapping the screen and please share the live. Share the live and share the love. And guys, we're 4 subscribers away from our next raffle. We're going to be raffling off a energy analysis and healing recording with me. So I will tune in with you and tell you what is going on with your body,
yes.
what your body's saying, give you that feedback,
yes.
and then do a little healing. Okay, and tell you what I did.
We are really, really...
Thank you for sharing, Cassie. Thanks for liking, Jess. Jesse's like, I was going to call you, but then I figured I'd check you here first to see if you were on.
Mm-hmm.
I am on, and I'm not talking this whole time.
She hasn't stopped talking this whole time. Hey! It's my family.
I love that just caught you.
Yeah.
Elephants are your thing.
Oh, hopefully that'll come in. I think isn't that
waiting
disability?
For my SSDI money to get to me. Okay.
Is that Social
I
Security?
Don't know.
I think
Oh, okay. All right. Hope it happens.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesse said we cut out for a second.
Well, all right. So what I'm getting, just like checking in. So when I check in energetically with the collective, it's like it lights up for me. So it looks like a graph or like a grid, right? And it lights up where we have issues, and then I can just basically like click on that and I can get the information of what it is. And everything right now, again, is still super focused on the physical vessel, providing for the physical vessel. Oh, okay.
Good for you, Becky.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you got time to work on yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the fun things.
Right?
Morning, Queen Bee.
Sisters in Christ.
Hallelujah.
Good morning. It lights up when you drink coffee. Yeah, mine too. Cheers to that. Let's drink some. But nonetheless, there's a lot that we went over this yesterday, but just let me see if there's they're so freaking chatty and talkative like every morning. God forbid we plug and pull information.
He said, yeah, I sound like a band without lactate milk.
Oh, man. Wow, back to 2016? Heck yeah, girl. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're wondering what I'm drinking, I have lemon, raw honey, and ginger and hot water, and it feels so good. If you guys you just put it in all raw, like you don't have to buy it from the store.
You did say that.
There's a chunk.
I wonder.
There's a chunk of lemon in here. There's some chunks of ginger and a scoop of raw honey. It's doing the thing.
Wait, now they're like.
So how did I know it was you that said that, Chris? We love you guys.
Does anybody have any questions or any topics that they want to talk about or they want us to talk about?
Becky said, been in poverty for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Add some cayenne. Oh, thank you, Jess. I forgot about cayenne. I love cayenne in my stuff. Let's talk about abundance. Oh, he said triggers. Oh, Chris.
Let's talk about triggers. You want to talk about triggers? Let's talk about triggers. I almost said chiggers. Do y'all know what chiggers are?
Are they bugs?
Yeah. They like burrow in your skin.
Ew, shut up. Okay.
They itch really bad.
Ew.
I've never had them. I've always seen like.
People need to know how to handle them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Jesse said. Sounds like
Chiggers. Yeah.
Triggers. So.
Yes, and true grass. Grass
Right.
triggers. Ugh.
All right, we need to get this party started.
Okay, sorry. let's do this. Let's do this.
Jesse had him once in college, dirty house.
Ah.
I think I remember that.
I know my dad used to go back in the woods, and he'd come out, and if he had them, he's like, oh, and they'd be all on his ankles and stuff, and he would put clear nail polish on them. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you painting yourself with clear nail polish? And he's like, I'm suffocating him. And it worked.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad's like a hippie. All right.
So as far as triggers, so what is a trigger when it comes to like the spiritual path? Because if some of you are new to this, just itchy, ew. So if some of you are new to this, like, I don't think that this was something that came up in my world until you and I came together and started our like deep shadow work.
Understanding what a trigger is.
Yeah. And I think it was just from us saying like, I'm really triggered right now. Like what you just said really triggered me.
Shoot, the old me. Well,
Yeah.
I would bite and ask questions later. For me, a trigger. Yeah. Well, I was just going to say a trigger is where all of a sudden you are supercharged emotionally by an experience or an interaction that you may have or something that will take place. But you have to be able to identify that first. And first and foremost, to be able to work through your triggers efficiently, you need to be aware of your emotions. You need to be aware of your emotional state. When you find yourself being triggered by somebody, a relationship, interaction, it could be with your boss at work. It could be even in the street. It could be in the grocery store. It does not matter. It's just an interaction and experience that takes place that. Did I miss something?
No.
Okay.
Chris was saying, Frankie said, I have an example of a trigger, but it may be a trigger for some. Just tell us. We'll see if it, yeah. Or the people who have keys to your triggers, like ex people you love, who know your stuff.
Yeah.
Right. It's important to look deeper. The trigger is not always obvious. Exactly.
Yeah, it's not. But this is what's such a beautiful aspect of triggers is whatever is triggering you and it's consciously right there in your face, that is a surefire indicator of what is up to be released and healed, and it's right on the surface. There doesn't have to be as much digging there. Now, when you read into your triggers, actually, I want Queen. Can you give us your example? I'm gonna write off that.
And good morning, Jen. Hi.
To give an example.
Yeah. And
motherfucker, I love that.
I know, I love that too.
I'm banned. But all right, well, I'm waiting if Queen Bee, if you
let me come in the box. What does that mean? Someone go get the queen.
Someone go get the queen.
Here
we go.
We're bringing Queen Bee in, y'all. Y'all. I did it.
Good job.
Hello.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Good morning. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Is this how we do this?
Hold on. There we go.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. I didn't want to type it because I can't type very much. All right. So the other day, so this is a SA trigger. So if this triggers anybody, I apologize, but it is the perfect example. It happened to me the other day. So I am an SA victim. And I was talking to another lady that is on TikTok, and she's a content creator, and she was going through some things.
Oh no!
Where'd you go? Wait, we lost you for a second.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You can hear me. Okay. She also happens to be autistic, so a lot of people take advantage of her. And so she was on the live talking, and there was an older man. She's 39, but there was an older man that is a lady that she's living with. Her husband kept coming in her room with her when she didn't have her pants on. And she told the wife, hey, he keeps doing this, and he's like violating like me. Like, that's not okay to come in my room. And the lady told her, oh, he's just a good old boy. Just let him do it. When she said he's just a good old boy, it triggered me, because that is the exact thing that is happening with the generation, especially my generation. A lot of the SA victims, their predator is basically, it's always covered up and it's always swept under the rug because they're just a good old boy. No, that's not right. That's not right.
They're like,
Somebody being disgusting is
do.
Absolutely. Somebody being disgusting is somebody being disgusting, and they're violating you and your privacy by that. They have no right to go in your space and violate your boundaries like that. So that is a big trigger for me. As soon as she said that, good old boy, it triggered me, and I immediately got angry. So that's
yeah.
So when we have thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna jump out the box now.
All right, thanks. We love you.
You're welcome.
When you have a trigger that pops up and it starts to spark you emotionally, and you are feeling all these things, it may not, most likely, it is not going to highlight what that is stemming from, in regards to like the source of it. Okay, so when you start having a trigger, and in this situation, like where Queen Bee got triggered, in regards to this SA victim, and it's like getting upset, and she's like, well, I am an SA victim myself, but there's injustice there. Okay, pay close attention to this, because this is how it's going to show you what it is that's up for you, that's in there, that needs to be released. Ask yourself, why am I so triggered by this? What is pissing me off? What is making me angry? What is making me sad? What is making whatever it may be? In this case, it's like, shit, I should have left you on here, Queen. But in this case, it's like, I am triggered by the injustice, right? I'm triggered by the fact of this person is being manipulated. It's being taken advantage of. I'm triggered by the fact that no one's listening to her. She's not being heard. Okay.
And they're downplaying what's going on.
You're downplaying this. You're And
like, somebody who is like doing harm is getting off, and it's just like, it's not being validated either.
Then you may look at it and you're like, I'm the only one listening to her. I'm the only one who hears her. Like, she feels alone. She feels and all that. Now turn that around and flip that on yourself. I'm being taken advantage of. I am having my boundaries walked through. I am being manipulated. I am not being heard. Nobody sees me. And identify where in your past that exists. Because that trigger is taking you back to that. Now, yes, it can take you back to in this case, which sucks, but of going through that experience, right? And so you're like, okay, well, I've worked on that. I've healed that. I've brought a lot of healing to that. If you're still triggered, then it goes beyond that experience. Okay? There's another source to this.
Also, healing is multifaceted. So you may work on the initial like trauma you experienced, but then you have to work on, like, have you grieved what you've been through? Did you work on the part that was about the injustice? Did you work on the part that was the boundary violation? Like, there are so many different parts of it. So if it's still coming up, there might be another aspect of it that you haven't healed. And so you really do want to see, like, well, what am I feeling right now? And that is going to reflect what part of it is like needing to heal.
Right. Where else in your life besides that situation, Queen, are you cool if we talk about, like, continue with you on this? I just want to make sure.
Becky said, oh my God, that's me.
Yeah. Okay. So where is there anywhere else in your life that let's go, let's do this, that you can see? Where else? Okay, put it like this. Think back in your life and you're like, okay, I got triggered by that. It's like injustice. Let's start there. How many instances in your life can you look back and see the injustice that has played upon you and that has left you in a place where you felt like you are a victim, you're all alone, and nobody's hearing you? Okay.
Too many to count.
Too many to count. Now, was this like a chronic trauma? Okay. So chronic trauma is like when it's like a series of ongoing events of traumatic experiences happening over and over and over and over and over.
I was angry at first, but I had to let them go.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is that, and that's really good. That's really good.
And Toodaloo was like, it's so sweet to double check and make sure someone doesn't get triggered. I'm guessing that you meant because Queen Bee got on.
Yeah, it was like, yeah. So with that being said, like, okay, so that's just like with injustice, right? Where else in your life have you experienced or have felt like I'm screaming for help, I'm speaking up for myself, and nobody hears me? Nobody's listening to me. Nobody's acknowledging what I'm going through, that it's real and that it hurts and that it's traumatizing. Okay. Your whole childhood, right? How many of those experiences, just looking back at those now, and now you have done an immense amount of, trauma healing and shadow work. We know that. So if you don't have this, then I could just use you as an example, but like, do any of those memories that you have looking back, do any of those still have a charge to them? Where you emotionally still has a charge. Like when you think of that, it may make you feel raw. It may make you feel sad. It may make you feel like,
angry.
It may make you feel angry. It may make you feel like this is really sad, dark time.
Mm-hmm. Or alone or abandoned. I have PTSD from a lot of trauma. I've done a lot of spiritual work, and EMDR has helped a lot. Yeah, I've heard that it's helped. Mm-hmm. That helps. Good that you're like getting into that. Not like they do know. I get angry when others are taken advantage of now. Okay. So that's like a whole different realm.
Yeah, that's like a different realm. Mm-hmm. But like, so the reason why I'm asking this, so I'll like kind of jump. Becky put in angry, right? When you look back at your emotions like that and they have a charge to them emotionally, there's energy stuck there. And when there's energy stuck there, there's usually belief systems in there too. Okay, so this is where our triggers come from. Our triggers come to like let us know where we still have energy stuck within us that needs to be released. And that energy is usually what holds us back or holds us captive to belief systems that we have. And those belief systems create our reality, especially on an endless loop of autopilot.
And that all comes from the subconscious brain.
Yeah.
The subconscious mind.
So,
and it attracts more situations in, not only because you're on that vibration, because you still have it within you, but also it's showing you, the universe is like popping these things into your awareness to show you, hey, you still haven't released and healed this.
Yep.
A lot of,
Hey, Erin, good morning.
Erin, good morning. A lot of like, so Frankie, I don't know if this would have tell me if this resonates, but when it's really hard to
Jamie.
Look at some of the things. Good morning, Jamie. Some of the things that are going on in the world, especially when you've experienced it yourself. And I know we see this a lot, like with being parents. Like,
guys, let's tap the screen.
Yeah, make sure we're tapping the screen. Share the live. When we see our kids starting to go through the things that we're going through, or when you see people out in the world going through something that you want to go through, and it hits so deep to your heart because you know how it feels. You've been there. And your ego, number one, started creating tactics to keep you, like mental tactics. It's like, let's recognize this when this is happening so that we can stay away from it. It never happens again to us because the ego wants to keep you safe. But it's also going to do that for other people because you're empathic. You want to see other people like not go through this shit, right? Mm-hmm. So there's an element, especially on the spiritual journey, there's an element of trust that has to happen with the universe. Because if you ever think about it, like look at what you went through and how it shaped you. And look at, like, I know for us, like what we went through and the healing that we endured because of it. And because we chose to heal and chose to like commit it to ourselves and like chose for like this journey to happen, we couldn't have gotten to where we are without those things happening.
Yeah.
And so if we don't, so sometimes it's like if it feels too overwhelming that you're watching other people go through it, one, like obviously you're here to help these people through it, and you just did. So there's multiple parts of this. It's like you speaking up and having that voice you didn't have when you were going through it. Mm-hmm. So that's really big. But another aspect of it can be at some points like understanding like I can't fix it for everybody because everybody has their own destiny path.
Chris.
You know? And that is a whole level of trust. A whole level of trust. Thanks, Frankie. That's a whole level of trust with the universe and the processes of just like this divine existence that we have to get on board with, because we will especially as healers, we will drive ourselves crazy trying to fix it for everybody. They're all in their spots for a reason and like where they are for a reason. But if they come into our contact, like what you just did, you got to be a part of like her healing. Like, hey, this isn't okay, you know? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, triggers are multifaceted and they can be very specific. So it's like, it's reflecting your trauma you went through, but it can be very broad where it's like, okay, I'm still fearful of this, or I'm still afraid of this happening because I don't fully trust in the universal process. It's like, I'm still, you know what I mean? I'm not saying you, Frankie, but just in general, like being so afraid to like, let these things still happen when you feel like helpless. Yeah. You know? And that is like having to pull back and just trust that there's a reason for this. Mm-hmm. And even if it looks really bad on the outside, like there's a reason inside why. There's so many people. One of my biggest obsessions was with homeschooling my kids was reading the Who Was books. So it tells you like people who are like celebrities and people who did big things or inventors.
Good morning, Asia.
Morning. Welcome in. It talks about like their story, and every single one of them started with some kind of trauma. And because of their trauma, they decided to make something out of it and chose the healing route and then made something beautiful. Like Maya Angelou, like her story came from like she was an SA victim and she stopped talking the person who abused her went to jail and he was killed in jail. And she decided that because she spoke up, she was responsible for somebody dying. And so she decided to stop talking. And so for years she didn't talk. But while she didn't talk, she was absorbing knowledge. She read everything. And it turned her, she became Maya Angelou through that experience. So like, it's so hard to like let go of that, but it is that's about trusting the process. And that can be the trigger too. Trying to circle this back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And this is why we constantly talk about and push for, because like how important this aspect is in your journey. So many people, especially as they start waking up, they're so, just vivacious and just zealous as hell and wanting to learn and wanting to do magic tricks and wanting to have their gifts and abilities come online and wanting to like just go out there and be the Long Island medium and wanting to you want to do all these things, right? Because yes, they are a beautiful aspect of the ride. But you need to learn how to use those first. And to know how to use those correctly, use your gifts and abilities, you have to clear way for your authenticity, because that's the commander. That's who's sitting at the helm of that ship, okay? For you to be able to do that, to move, like, to get into that place where you are sitting in your essence, sitting in your authenticity, completely connected, completely online, having those gifts and abilities. And this isn't just like you have to be perfect or you have to be fixed, or because there is no such thing as being fixed. Okay. Or I have to reach this level before I can do that. No, it doesn't work like that. It's actually a very beautiful, like symphony of like welding your healing. And as you are doing that and things are falling away, things effortlessly come in and more comes online, and you just continue to grow and become. And before you know it, you're sitting in your true authenticity. You're sitting in a place where you're using your gifts and abilities and you understand them, and they're not running rogue, and you're not losing your mind or scared shitless because you popped into another dimension or reality when you were taking a shower, and next thing you know, you're on a different planet. And then you find your way back and you're like, what the fuck just happened to me? Okay? Because this is like, and I know Chris can, exactly.
Hey, been there.
See? So, you know, our boy Chris, he is also a medium. He also, knows exactly like what I'm talking about. And let me tell you, yes, same thing with Queen Bee. Okay. When you have these gifts and abilities, which everybody has the opportunity, the ability to open up and use these gifts and abilities. It's kind of like child's play when you don't really know what you're doing. And there are certain areas where you need to be careful. You need to be careful. You need to kind of at least have some kind of idea of what you're doing. Let me tell you. Because, that's like letting a kid run around in I was about to say Dick's Sporting Goods, not Dick's Sporting Goods. My Rogue lawnmower. Yeah, but it's like letting a little kid run around in like Bass Pro Shop or something, right? Well, these hooks look good. Let me get this shotgun. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be aware. I don't know. It's like I'm streamlining information right now. And I don't really understand fully why it's going into this. Somebody needs to hear this.
So we're shifting out of the triggers.
I'm trying to come back into it, but like this is what's coming through. I'm sorry, I'm just broadcasting.
Okay.
Nonetheless, it is very, very important to clear yourself. It is the quickest way to your gifts and abilities. It is the quickest way. It is the quickest way to strengthening your relationship with Source and your spirit council and hearing them and taking on the knowledge, right?
Not only that, it's like, so it makes room for your soul essence to step in. Your soul essence is aligned with all those things. But it's also, as you grow and experience, you create your own like spirit bank, your own spirit dictionary. And when you have experienced the lows and worked through them to the highs, you can relate to people who are in the lows and teach them how to get to the highs. So your experience by going through what you've gone through and healing it, working through it and healing it, gives you the tools also to help others.
Exactly.
And to meet them where they are.
Yeah.
So like you want that experience. You don't want to skip over this stuff because you want that experience. Your biggest traumas will turn into your biggest
blessings,
but also your biggest what I want to say here, like job here, part of your purpose.
Yeah,
part of your biggest purpose. And it turns into your passion all the time, because especially like Frankie telling us, like, I saw this woman experience something that I've experienced. And yeah, you had a trigger, but you were also passionate about helping her and good morning. You were passionate about seeing it change because you've experienced it. So you've turned that around and you're like, I'm passionate about helping women. You do like the fertility stuff and all that. And so much is blocked with fertility stuff with like sexual trauma, or assault.
That is just one of the many hats that Queen Bee wears. If y'all aren't familiar with Queen Bee, you definitely need to check her out. Check out her page. Super, super gifted individual.
Yeah.
So
But so you don't want to neglect those things. And when those triggers come up, bringing it around to triggers, it's showing you, here's something that's going to give you the tool, the next leg up when you dive into it. You don't want to ignore them. You want to question yourself, like Andrea was saying, like, okay, why is this bothering me? What emotions am I feeling? Okay, where else have I felt these emotions? Oh, I felt this emotion when I was like 10 and this person like hurt me or whatever. And then allow yourself to dive into those emotions and release them. And this is something that we walk people through. We also have an awesome like regression session that we do, the two of us individually with our clients, that helps like you go into meditation and pull back some of those memories where these things happen and pull them out and release them.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, it's a big thing. It's a real big session. You'll have like rapid healing afterwards, but it's a good one. So that's
thanks, Chris. We landed there.
Yeah,
and that's where we were supposed
shadow
to be.
Work surgeons.
Yeah, I did not think that's where where I would end up, or like what one of my my specialties would be, but it is, and it is just so unbelievably important for that work to be done. Like, I can't preach that enough. I cannot preach that enough. Especially with where we're at and what everyone, we're going through collectively and individually. This journey makes me feel like the Disney Hercules trying to prove I'm worthy in order to get my gifts.
So let's focus on worthiness.
Yeah.
Who was it that made you feel like you had to reach a certain level in order to attain success? Did you have a parent that was really hard on you, that it was like grades are everything, or like where else in your life did you experience that?
Yeah, that's super, super important to to look at. Because that's telling you a lot right there.
Yeah.
Nancy, are you still in here?
Oh yeah, we needed to talk to Nancy.
And that just came out of nowhere. I was like, wham!
If she is, I don't know. Nancy, you said you left us a message yesterday. We can't find it.
Yeah, I checked. Oh my, I checked our inbox. I checked Instagram, and I didn't see anything. So, if please definitely send that again, because we want to be able to connect with you. So if it doesn't work on TikTok, send that. If you have Instagram, you can send it on Instagram as well. Okay, but what was I gonna say after that? I was
about turning your traumas into your passions. You just said, and I'm not financially ready yet to pay someone to learn how to use my gifts. You don't want to like do that until you remove the stuff. Like you can start, like if you've already had gifts coming up, it's like, it's good to have everybody has something to offer, and I started out with that, like, but I feel like I wasted a lot of time looking for adding. This is what we teach in our coaching program, is like, we tend to think just like everything else in society, we're taught you need to add more in order to get up the ladder. But it doesn't work that way. It's about taking away stuff that's blocking you from being your true soul essence. So we went through this together, and this is why we teach this, is because we were like kind of not forced, but we were thrown into this rapid healing together. And as things would release, we would heal something, and it was like, sometimes it was big, sometimes it was small. But as we did, it was like literally a day or two after. Oh, you got hard.
Thank you.
A day or two after, she'd come in and she'd be like, I have a new gift. And I'm like, hey, I have a new trick. I can do this now. I was just telling Andrea the other day, we were talking about meditation, and she's working on finding like a new way to meditate that like works for her. And we were talking about
Thank you, love.
How, I was saying how, I used to struggle so much with meditation.
We're almost at 10K, y'all. Keep on
hit
going.
Those likes. I used to struggle a lot with meditation and turning off my brain. And I was telling her, I was like, I can just turn it off now. And she's like, well, what did you do to get there? And I was like, nothing. I just, through the healing work, it just started being easy. Like, I didn't do anything. I was like, I can turn my brain off right now. Watch. And I was like, it's off. There's nothing's happening.
And then she's sitting there for a second. She was like, all right, turn back on. And I'm like,
I was like, turn back on. We gotta get back to work.
I feel like I struggle with that. Like
And it's different for everybody.
It is.
Stuff that's come online for you is like healing abilities and like newer beings you're able to channel. Like the things you do are freaking out of this world. So it's different for everybody. But whatever it is that needs to come out first is going to come out first. The things you need. Apparently, I need to be able to turn this off. This is very good. This is very good for Lindsay.
Yeah. And I just wanted to go back to Asia. Like Chris is absolutely right. You don't need to pay anyone to learn how to use your gifts. That's what what I was talking about with like the healing aspect, because it literally, okay, is about you healing yourself. And when you do that, your gifts come online. You see them come online. The more work you do, they start popping on. You can start identifying. You can, if you want to use your mind, because Chris is right with that. But here's the thing. There's stuff within your heart that needs to heal. And that's why you go straight to your mind, because you don't feel like it's safe to be in your heart. Okay? So we got to focus on what's in that heart and what needs to be worked on there for you to feel safe to come back into your heart, right? To start embracing your divine feminine. And when you start balancing that even more, then a lot more healing takes place. And the more healing that takes place, then the more you clear way for your authenticity to shine, right? For you, who you really are. Your true soul essence now owns that space. And it's now even closer to sitting in the seat of, the driver's seat. And when that happens, then it naturally just takes place. So.
She said, you're right, I'm not street smart, so I need someone to show me. I'll keep looking within. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
You don't need your brain for this.
Yeah.
Andrea says, you don't need your brain for this.
You don't need your brain for this. But, so like, if you do decide one day that you're going to, you are going to look for someone to help you along that way, because it's not bad if you can't find it on your own, okay? It's not a bad thing, because eventually you would find it. You would. What we've been doing, I'm going on 13 years, okay, of my awakening. And just
bye. Have a good day.
Just make sure that the person you go to, you trust. And make sure that the person you go to or people that you go to teach you how to do this, okay? Not only do they help you heal and find it, they're going to help you do it, not do it for you as a byproduct, because it is so important that you can then turn around and continue to do that for yourself. Yeah.
Miss H got on. Good morning, Miss H. Miss Haley. I don't think we said hi to Caitlin either. Hi, Caitlin. She's like, I love you. I love you guys. We love you, Caitlin. Caitlin was part of our 6-month coaching program too. So if you have questions, ask her. She's been our girl. She rode the ride with us for our first run through, and she did amazing.
Yeah, because I'm on that.
She is so intelligent that she takes the power out of herself. Avengers, we always say, we've been saying with Chris, we're like, Avengers assemble, because it really does take a team. Like, you don't have to do it yourself. Everybody, it's like, you don't want to give your power to somebody else and rely on somebody else to say, like, you have something I don't. That's not what it is. But everybody has little tidbits to give you. I'm going to bring up a story. So back when I was pole dancing, for fitness and not for money, one of my teachers, was like, and I experienced this myself. You'd go to learn a new move or a new, a new move or skill. And there's so much leverage and it's scientific. It's very scientific. There's so much leverage involved. So there were a lot of times when you would go to do one and somebody would be teaching you and you're like, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. And then somebody else would come in and see it in a different light and be like, oh, for your body type, maybe move your leg this way and your hand over here. And all of a sudden you've got it. So it's it's not that you can't get it on your own, but everybody has a little piece of the puzzle to add to give you tips on how to open up a door. And some are right for you and some aren't. Mm-hmm. So you leave what's not right for you and you take what is and it works. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it just depends on the person, but you'll feel it, you'll know. Thanks, Chris. Amen. You know when something fits. It's called resonating, like it resonates. And that's something that you're gonna.
Chris says, "Take what resonates."
Take what resonates. Thank you. Yeah, if you're gonna hear this a lot on the spiritual path, and resonating can feel different for everybody. For me, I feel it in my body. You know, like I know right away meeting somebody if this person, like if there's something they have to give me or not, and I'll feel it in my body. Is it different for you?
No, I guess mine's kind of like the same. For
like
me,
a
it feels, it's like downloads. It downloads in me. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah,
But
or it comes in the form of you're like listening to somebody talk and you feel lit up inside, or you see a video, you're scrolling and this video pops on. It might be something you've never even heard of, and all of a sudden you're like, this fits me. This fits, like there's like a piece of my puzzle that's just placed back in me, and that's when you know it like feels good. You know, if it feels like you're being like if you're made to feel like less than. That's coming through and you're saying to yourself, oh shit, I'm not doing that. I need to be doing that. I need to be like, I need to be doing that. That means that there's fear there. And there's like that feeling of, or that belief that I'm less than, and this person has something that I don't have.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the difference, is when you're feeling less than because you're not doing something, versus feeling enlightened by something and like lit up. Then that's the difference between like.
I know you did not just say you were bored here on my live.
What do you say? I'm trying to read you, but I'm bored. Oh, you better not be bored on here. Asia said, I made a whole Reiki, and because I was like crystals thinking I invented something new. So he can't help himself.
No, yeah, it's hard. I get it.
She does the same thing everywhere we go. He's banned, so he's bored.
Oh, hold on. What do you mean you're banned?
What does that mean?
Are
banned
you,
or banned?
was your live banned?
Was it?
Or are you saying you're banned?
You said you were banned from something. What does that mean?
You're enjoying this house party.
He does. Chris is like the guy with the cocktail walking around to everybody like, yeah.
Are you serious?
What? You got... What? That is so ridiculous.
That is crazy.
He said banned for talking about Jesus. Really? No, is it?
Wow.
Really? That's crazy. Yeah, the live cut off randomly. I wonder what happened to Chris. It was getting good too.
That's
insane. He was shut down. Wow.
What first time were we talking about?
What?
Wow.
That is messed up. Sorry, Chris.
So how long are you banned for?
That's insane.
Yeah. I saw it, like, I was getting on Lindsay. I was like, you need to use code words. You need to use code words.
Oh, yeah. Well, if Chris, tell everybody to go over to Insta. I know you don't like Instagram. Tell everybody to go on Instagram, go live over there until you're back. Guys, if we ever get banned, we're going to be on Instagram. So look for us there, okay?
We,
Don't talk about Big J. Man, that's messed
yeah, we call him J-Man.
J-Man.
Yeah, that's our J-Man.
Yeah. Got an email. I'm in the top 1% live creators. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's insane, though.
That's crazy. So you don't know when it's going to be coming back on? My brother in Christ. Don't you worry. Spirit's going to take care of this.
Saturday. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Man, if I were you, I'm gonna say you get on Saturday.
Making bail
You better come in with a bang on Saturday. Mm-hmm. I know you don't do lives on Saturday, but shit, I would. I'd be coming back like, he's back.
It's crazy, guys. We live in they have class. I was just gonna say they probably have a class. I'm going to get the videos, though. Yeah. But, guys, nothing can hold us down.
Yeah.
Just keep positive. Stay in the light. Don't let it bring you down when this stuff happens. You know? And I know, Chris and Frankie, you know this. But for everybody, like, when this stuff happens, it's like...
Okay.
I blocked a guy who disagreed with me on J-Man. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, and what did he report you? That might have been what it was. Yeah. Somebody came in here. I don't know if you saw when you were talking, and they were like,
"Yeah, I saw."
I blocked them, but we didn't say anything. So, they can just do what they do. I don't know. Is that not a good thing to block them? I just don't want to disrupt everybody else's time, you know. But we're not going to get into fights with them. Mute, don't block because they report you. Okay, thank you. That is good to know. Now we know.
Yeah.
So we mute them. Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah, but they're those little lurky leeches, man. They are out. They're out. I felt it today. I could feel the energy. It's crazy. Like before I even get on here, I can feel what kind of like energy is going to be around. So I have to like address that and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said if you address them, block, they will report. Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
We've had a couple times where we've like made fun, like poked a little bit of fun. That's probably not a good idea. If you don't address and block, they can't do anything. Okay. All right. Cool.
Sweet.
We usually just try to do it subtly.
Chris, did you just have a moment where you had to acknowledge it? Because I don't blame you, dude. I know, like.
4,000 people came in. I was only live for 46 minutes. Wow. So there were probably a lot of thumpers in there coming in with things to say. Oh, that's crazy. Wow. Good for you, dude. You're doing it.
Let your angel, yeah.
Let your agent handle it. Yeah. Your agency. Agency. Anyway.
Yeah. Don't beat them.
We're always going to have these things in every aspect of life, you know, while we're having this human experience, at least until we get over this hump of evolution. So it's
not his first rodeo.
You know, it's like, and it's one of the things we learn as we grow through this is like having to not like bite your tongue, but sometimes it's not worth the fight. But just keep your vibration high because you're not going to change their mind. You know, you're not going to change their mind. And you just be like, you want to stay there in a place of fear and judgment and all that? Like, you're punishing yourself. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
And sadly, most of the time, they can't see that. They can't even see that for themselves. So
yeah, exactly.
Let them go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Just easy. So true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does mean you're doing it. Yeah. That's how you know. I'm like, yeah. It's like, what is it? Is the highest form of flattery is like, what is it? Copying, but I forget the word. But also like being those things thrown at you mean that you must be doing something good because they see you as a threat.
Yeah.
You know, this is a dope party. Hey, Gina.
Hello, Gina. Hello.
Guys, make sure you're tapping the screen, share that live. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Caitlin, for all the roses, sweetheart. We love you.
Thank you.
We love you. Oh, so anyway, well, you want to go back to triggers, or you want to talk more about like, you were going on a roll with like when you're, what was it, mediumship skills are like.
Yeah, and I think, well, it's yeah, okay. So thanks, you're just confirmation because, my counsel was like, please tell the story of the time that I was like, I had an attack placed on me when I was in my sleep. And I'm like, what is the, like, okay, I'll do it, but I don't, like,
okay.
So it's not fear. This is not fear, okay? So this is more about, like, just giving some ideas around, like, mediumship and what you need to be careful around, you know? As much as you can get yourself into trouble or not into trouble, but, like, find yourself in situations you may not be ready to handle, along with, like, the slew of beautiful things. You are divinely protected, and you know, everyone is always divinely protected.
Frankie said this is what to expect.
Yeah.
What to expect when you are medium shipping.
Yes. Well, this is one of the things. So I want to tell you guys the story because, well, Spirit wants me to tell you all the story. So I was sleeping in my bed. There is a dark side, and everyone needs to be aware of that, like this can happen to anyone, okay? Anyone. I'm just able to see it, okay? And I'm able to hear it. So, it's super important to be aware of what is out there. Right. It's not all love and light. Think of it like this, like how I think we said this yesterday. Here on Earth, human beings are also extraterrestrials. We are aliens to other extraterrestrials, okay? Think about humans. There are majority good, wholehearted, loving humans. You got some that are batshit crazy, and then you have those that are dark and okay? So that's going to be what it's like out there as well. Also in the spirit realm. So it brings in a totality of the polarities of a whole, okay? But nonetheless, I was sound asleep, and I did not wake up physically, okay? So my physical vessel was still sleeping. My soul was not in my body. I was out, like, traveling. All of a sudden, I, like, popped back into my body, physical vessel still asleep, but my third eye wide open, and I look over. Okay, again, this is my energetic body. So I look over. My son was, I can't remember how old he was at the time.
It was only
this
like
is my
2
youngest.
years ago.
Yeah, this is like 2 years ago. So he's pretty young. And he was sleeping in the bed with me. I can't remember whatever he had going on, but he was sleeping in the bed with me. And I, like, jumped up in my body. My energetic body jumped up in my vessel. And I look over and I see this, like this figure of a man. And I say that because there was, like, and the energy too was very, like, dark masculine, and had on the black trench coat with the things, whatever, had on a hat, and was leaning over my son. And all of a sudden it turns its head and it looks at me, and the eyes were like red, like beaming red lights. And all of a sudden, I just heard my dog, my Zozo girl, she was still with us at that time, and was just like, rah, 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 rah. I mean, just like, I've never heard her bark. It was absolutely like I'm protecting you. I'm ripping this to shreds, right? And it was so loud and, like, right here in my ear. Like, it was so loud. And I was trying to get my body to move. I'm like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And I couldn't get my body to wake up, but I was fully conscious. And like, Zoe just literally, like, tore this entity to shreds. Like, it was insane. Finally, I popped back into my body, and I got up like this, and I sat up in my bed, and my son was asleep. My dog was asleep right in my doorway. And I just saw this, like, black shadow almost, like, go around the corner of my wall and then down my steps. So that shit was fucking crazy. I was pretty shooken up after that, and I'm checking, make sure my son's okay. I'm putting protection around my son. I like my dog. It is so crazy. Yeah. It's so crazy when you have those experiences, because it is real. You did experience that, but then when you pop back into, like, this realm, or, like, you shut off from, that other side of the veil, there's, like, nothing going on. But it's like, I don't know. It was just insane. So it is super important to understand how to guard and protect your energy, and how to, like, cleanse and clear your space, and be aware of those things. All right.
We've been talking about, because TikTok has series. We're thinking about making a series that's, like, guarding and protecting your energy, like fluffing up your energy, like all that stuff. Is that something you guys would be into? We kept talking.
They'd be like mini
series. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an experience similar. Like, They said, yeah, awesome. Okay, cool.
Sweet.
I think it was when I learned how to like call in the white light of source. There was like, I had just learned this like not long before, but I was in a dream and I felt my body become like paralyzed in the dream. And I wasn't able to move. And I knew that I had been taken over by like something else. And I couldn't move. And I started to call in, in my dream, like my subconscious, I remembered and started calling in the white light of source. And I was like, I call on the white light of source and bringing it in. And I felt it pull out of me. And then I was able to move again.
That stuff is crazy.
So it's, again, not to be feared. It's just like be prepared for things because things pop in. But remember, like love and source, like God, whatever, conquers all. Love conquers all. So if you can find a way to keep yourself in that space or pull that back into you, and some people do that you can do it so many different ways, but some people do it through imagery where they like imagine a light growing inside of them. You could even imagine like a big hand of source, like pulling you out of the situation. It's just whatever works for you or stating it. Like I call in the white light of source. I am surrounded by love. I am I am protected. I am guarded. My energy is safe. I can't. I'm gonna cough. Sorry, guys. What did Aaron say? Same thing I had in beside my bed. They were talking about the Hat Man. Have you heard of this? Because I've never heard of the Hat Man.
I've never heard of him, but does that sound like what that was?
I just Googled it.
Does he have red eyes?
And Caitlin said she saw him when she was 8. She's like, how is it that... She said, what is his purpose if so many people have seen him? Is it one of those things that's like a collective...
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Entity created through fear, like through fear, I don't know. I wonder what he's attached to. What emotions he's attached
when
to.
I saw him, yes. When I saw him, he was leaning over my son. And I don't know if it was just like, no, because I was completely like conscious, like my soul was conscious. And it was like, he's going to suck he was going to try and take aspects of my son's soul.
And
that's what I felt. I'm like, bitch, let's go.
This was 2 years ago, and we've done so much healing since then. But your son, this son, the youngest, is the one that Andrea always had the most fear around. So it may have been that your fear, because I would tell you, I'm like, your fear for him is going to bring in more things to like fear.
I don't play with my kids though. I don't play with my kids.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, if it is fear-based, maybe he came in because you had such a strong fear there over your son. Think about that, And so sometimes these things pop in. If darker things pop in, it's usually because there is something that they get in through resonation. They can't get in if you don't have some of that energy within you. So lower vibrational things like fear, anger, hate, like all these things will allow these things in because they match.
Right.
And so if they do show up, there is something that you need to learn in protecting yourself and whatever. They're also telling you.
I want to do that.
What's that?
I saw a sun woman bigger than the earth. I sat in her hands.
Oh, I love that.
I love that. You know what that reminds me of?
Meditation.
When I go into meditation to sit with source. That's one of my I just love that, right? And I can only hold it for so long because I physically put my whole energetic body right up in the presence of what I consider Mother God, Father God. And it literally looks like this, it almost, to me, it almost feels like this white pillowy satin, all-encompassing love dust poof thing. Like, that's how it feels. Because I get right up in there and I'm like holding on, and I realize that what I'm holding on to is I'm literally maybe this much of the area circumference of source. That source is even showing me, and source is all things. So this is just a teeny tiny aspect of source that meets me in this sacred space. but I'm literally like holding on to the white robe of this little particle of source. But it's just insane. And I have had where I think right before our union is when I went into that deep meditation, and I saw Lindsay and I sitting in the hand of Mother, Father, God. So yeah, that is a awesome experience.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Not to backtrack back to the dark stuff, but Caitlin said it was around, she was 8, and that's around when she was also going through trauma. So it makes sense that's why that like popped in then.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, my son also had a dream, and he doesn't share many of his dreams, but he did share a dream with me, where he said that a man came to take him, and he was scared, but I swooped into that dream and I grabbed him and I sat him up on my dresser, and then he said, and then you fought the man. And then he was so sweet. He gave me out. He goes, "Thank you for saving me, mommy." Right? But I'm like, so those things are real, right? That was real. Whatever it was that he was experiencing, my soul literally showed up and was like, you know? My mom has done that for me. I'll tell you all of that experience. This is just, I know we're getting sidetracked, but this is a good one. So when I was 13, I think it was 13, messing around with the Ouija board, and yeah, we were messing around with the Ouija board, and, stuff came out of that Ouija board and was in the house, and so we had to I was with my friend. Okay, so I was with my friend, my best friend at the time, and her older brother, and we started messing around with the Ouija board. Absolutely do not touch freaking Ouija boards, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? So my best friend's mom, at that time, her best friend was a medium that actually works for the NYPD, in forensics or whatever. So we pulled out the Ouija board. We start messing with the Ouija board, and she had this little tiny cat. Its name was Boston, and he literally jumped up, landed on top of the Ouija board, back curled up, and was like. Well, I'm like, oh my God, okay? For 3 days, no, I think it was 2 days after that, we had lights busting in the house, doors slamming, cars breaking down. I mean, insane, okay? Insane. Could see my breath. It was so cold. Black orbs flying around the house. Don't touch that, okay? Don't touch that unless you are not, you better be fully prepared to figure out how to fix that one. Just saying. So because that happened when the cat jumped on, yeah, it is portal. And they're not the good portals, okay?
No.
It opens up the underworld.
Level, yeah.
The Ouija board opens up the underworld. Just be aware of that. And that's not hell. A whole nother realm there, okay? So anyway, so we told her mom, we were like, oh my God, this is what's happening. She calls her best friend, and her name was Roxanne. This is a medium in New York. Well, she lived in Jersey, but anyways, she was like, God damn it, motherfucker, what's going on? And she was like, I gotta come down there and clean this up. You got people. She was like, you got spirits all in that house. It was insane, okay? So I was scared. I got in the shower, again, 13 years old, okay? I'm in the shower. There's no windows in the shower, in this bathroom. This bathroom did not have a window. This is in the midst where day 2 stuff breaking. It was insane. I go in there. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to get in the shower really quick. I'm going to leave the door open and everything's going to be okay. I get in the shower. I turn it on. The light busts. It got completely dark in there. The door slammed shut. Okay. And I'm washing up and getting, wrap the towel around me. I get out and I go to try to open the door and the door was locked. So I had to unlock the door. I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs. And I get out, and then they came in and we put brought a flashlight to like find my stuff. And on the mirror, it was like, oh, what do you call that?
Foggy.
Yeah. And it had, yeah, I know she doesn't like it. And it had an M on the mirror. And y'all, collective fear. Let's bring that down a little bit, because I know. So, but it's just crazy. But here's the thing. When she came down, Roxanne came down, and we started to do a seance. She was like, we need to do a seance. We need to get this cleared up. So we're all sitting in there. All of a sudden, literally felt this like, right? Come around and like around the room. And I could like the hair stood up on the back of my neck. And Roxanne was like, holy shit, right? Like, she was just like, Jersey, think Jersey. Okay. And we're all like, what? And she was like, Andrea, I think your mother's here. And she said that my mom came in and completely enveloped me in like wings and bubbled me up. And she said that I almost looked hazy. That's how thick of a force field my mom had put around me. I know, to protect me. So I don't know where I'm going with this story, but I just want you all to know, because I was like, oh, that's my mom. That's my mom died when I was 8. So, and then she said, do you know what DuckTales means? And I just started laughing, because my mom, before she had passed, she had gotten a new haircut, and it was like, this was like in the 90s, y'all, like early 90s. So it was like the short bobs or whatever, but she had these like cowlicks that would like stand up in the back, and we always said it looked like a duck tail, the duck feathers like roll up or whatever. So I was like, that was definitely my mom. But my mom is one of my biggest protectors for sure. Like she don't play. Yeah. She don't play. And I found that I do the same thing for my kids. Even in their dreams. So.
Yeah, energetically and physically, right?
Yeah.
So as much as like there are scary things out there, that it's like the light is stronger. The light is always stronger.
It always
wins.
Yeah.
So you just have to remember to keep it there and call it in. If you feel scared, call it in and put yourself back in that light space. Mm-hmm. And if it helps, prepare ahead of time. Like we have the download, free download in our link in our bio that is the angels and what they are, it's like which ones to call on for like different things. That's a good one.
I think
call on people that have crossed over that that are like you're connected with. That the people that like your loved ones who have crossed over, or like any specific like spirit guides you resonate with, like feel free to call on them if you don't know what else to do. If you feel like I can't raise my vibration, call them in.
Yeah.
Or call in the white light and just like let it envelop you, but it'll always show up. Mm-hmm. It will. Yeah. So
yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. Mm-hmm. So just like you have to be well aware of like what you're doing and at least with all.
I hate chills through the whole story.
Yeah, I know. I started feeling it too. I started feeling y'all, and I'm like, all right, let's. So, but I put protection around all of us before telling that story. But the energy's so strong, dude. Like you can still feel it, And like I said, I'm 37. And that happened when I was 13. So, and I have many more of those stories, but yeah, like I've had my fair share of like being thrusted in and running straight into the darker aspects of spirit enough to really, really appreciate the light and learn how to use that. We have a story we'll tell one day. It's probably going to be in the podcast, but
the story.
Yeah,
we can't. I still have PTSD, so
yeah.
But learning really firsthand how to like battle.
No, Gina, me too. I'm like
how to battle that shit with the light. Like and I think just there are times when when on this journey, you need to like fully learn how powerful you are, and sometimes things will come up to challenge you so that you learn that. You know, in that moment I think you learn probably to trust, like to lean into your mother more for, you know, that support and that protection, you know? And that
Yes,
love.
like I learned, like I know that I can call my mom whenever I need you know, support and protection for sure. She's a bad bee, man. She's insane.
Yeah, but it comes down to like it's a reminder of how powerful you are, because you couldn't call them in if you didn't have that within you, that love within you. They on an energetic level, they work as protectors for you because there's somebody that you open your heart up for. And when it comes down to it, you are the powerhouse. So it's not like we were saying, don't put all your power in somebody else, even the angels, because you have the power to call them in. They work for you.
Yeah.
Okay. You're the employer. So you have that within you, and it's just by which means can you get your brain on board to believe that it's actually happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like, you guys have to remember that you're the powerhouse first. But if you feel like you're losing it, you utilize whatever it is that will get your mind on board to remember how powerful you are, to open your heart back up. So for Andrea, that was like mom was the one that could open that back up and let you trust and believe that you were protected, and therefore your energy could shine out too.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys have it within you. You do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm getting ready to wrap it up.
Yeah. I think it's time to wrap it up. Now tomorrow, for all of you who are going to be on here,
Friday.
It's Friday. I was going to say, because I'm going to be down. Well, you'll be here for a little bit,
I'll
right?
be here for a little bit, and then I have to take off. I'm leaving for a bachelorette party weekend.
Yeah. So
And
our
hopefully
live's going to
we'll
be
be
a
healed
little
up
bit
before
shorter
that.
tomorrow. But we'll still be here same time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And
Chris, I'll be here. Got
I'll be
nothing
here.
better to do.
Yeah. We should have you on, Chris. You want to co-pilot?
You want to banter? Yeah.
Oh, well, he can't do the live.
Oh, we can't do.
But you can call in. You can be in the box.
Yeah,
Put you in the box.
right?
I can put you in the box.
Toodaloo. I love that.
I know. Toodaloo. I love that.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We love you all. Make sure you look for the podcast tomorrow afternoon. I'm sorry, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard. It'll be airing, and it's Andrea's God Day story. You do not want to miss this. It's like really beautiful.
Thanks,
so,
Rach.
Thank you, Rach. All right, we love you guys so
We
much.
love
Thank
you
for all
guys
the
so
love.
much.
Thank you.
Don't forget who you are.
Don't forget who you are.
Do you know who you are?
Do you know who you are? Do you remember who you are?
Thank you,
You
Martin.
don't. We will make sure you remember.
Yes.
All right.
We love you all. See you
Love
tomorrow.
you. Bye.